Well, we're joined now to look at all this by a social media specialist, Joanna Randall. Thanks so much for coming in, Joanna. I mean, these stories, in particular the Tommee Tippee story, just shows the power of social media, don't they?
It does, and I think the interesting thing about these stories is that they come about from people, so it's not always just big companies that are trying to push stories out at us. We, the citizens and the public, are actually generating the news agenda, which is amazing, and these are such lovely, heartwarming stories. It really kind of brings out the emotion and makes the rest of us want to help out, which is what's happened here.
I was going to say, this really is people power here, isn't it? Which we've seen in several of these stories. Can companies even keep up with that?
It's quite hard, but I think the best companies do just kind of let their public and let people talk to them, comment, sometimes complain, but also praise them, and they get involved and actually talk to them directly. And I think that's the best way to do this. I think gone are the days of the 80s advertising when we were just bombarded with messages. Now it's very much, you know, us responding to the messages and deciding kind of which brands we want to engage with, and naturally I think the ones that we all like to engage with are the ones that speak our language and understand our daily lives, and this is a great case in point because it's clearly made such a huge difference to that family.
But companies aren't daft, are they? I mean, many will be looking at these kind of campaigns and thinking, oh, do you know what? We can actually push out some advertising this way. So I guess as users of social media and readers of social media, we have to be pretty wary, don't we?
I think we do, but you know, clearly in this instance, they've obviously got an awful lot of PR value out of it. I mean, that goes without saying. To pay for this level of exposure would have cost thousands. Having said that, I think the majority of companies still don't do these sorts of things. It may have been the natural response for that company to say, I'm sorry, we'd love to help, but we can't because this particular Tommee Tippee cup is no longer in production. And that would have been the end of the story. So they didn't have to go one step further. And I think, yes, as members of the public, of course, we need to be careful that we're not being exploited particularly, but it does look like in this instance they've been quite sensitive in how it's been handled, and actually everyone's a winner, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Brilliant.
Fascinating stuff, Joanna. Thank you very much
Thanks
indeed for coming in.